You know, I would tell you that we did a lot of work, but you know, most of the things I remember, the funny things that happened on our pleasure trips. Mother and Daddy came out to see us, and so I took them down to Lake Naivasha because Mother always liked to think about fishing and doing things like that. So I got a boat, and I rented the boat. Now you're understanding, Peggy wouldn't go with us because she doesn't like water. And so it was my mother, my dad, and myself. Nobody else was there.
Boys were with you.
I don't know where y'all are not. We took off in that boat, not knowing a whole lot about the boat. And so we finished, you know, fishing and came back. I said, it's time to go. And so we started back in, and I started in toward the bank. And I realized I didn't know how to stop that thing going this way. And I finally thought, only thing I can do is run up on the grass. And I just sailed into that bank and went right up on the top. Peggy was just laughing again. She laughs at everything we do. And my mother and daddy were just throwing all the things. Oh, Lord.
Tell about the python and then your sunglasses.
We were another time I was hunting with Bill Holloway and Jimmy D. Hooten, who's my daughter-in-law's dad. And we were hunting, we were fishing down in Lake Naivasha again, and we were out, you know, and walking, you know, fishing. All of a sudden, I looked up and saw something. I said, "What is that?" And they said, "That's a python up in this bush." Well, idiot Holloway got his oar out and begins to hit that thing, trying to get it out, and he almost knocked it right in the boat with us. We were getting ready to evacuate the boat in every direction. And so we got through that, and finally, that was bad enough. Went another about, another hour and a half, and it was getting to about 5:30. And on the lakes, there is what they call a Kennegop Special. Comes out off the Kennegop Mountain, and it comes down, and boy, it does blow up a gale. And it doesn't happen all the time, but when it does, you better not be on the water. Well, about the time we were fishing, we saw it. And so the guy said, "Listen," again, Holloway said, "We can be over here against this thing and it won't bother us. We can keep on fishing." And so about the next time he slung that thing back and fired it off, and I mean, he hooked Jimmy D. Hooten right in the arm with all three of those things. And just sit there, oh yeah, just sit there looking at that thing. And we said, "What are we going to do now? In the storm, look at the storm coming. We're not going to be able to go back across the river, I mean the lake." And they said, "We got to go because we got to get this out," because we couldn't get it out. We had to go to see a doctor, and so we were sitting there, and he said, "The doctor's going to leave at 6, and we got to get on the way now." So we threw all the stuff on the floor. Bill drove. Jimmy D sat in the back, holding his arm with it taped down to his arm so that it wouldn't be so hard. Because the boat was kind of the kind of boat it was, it needed to have the front end kind of buoyed down, pushed down. Guess who they decided had the most weight? Me. And so I crawled out on the end of that boat with hands on both sides of that thing and my feet on, and he was just going like that through the waves, like I just, I got to the place where it was, and we finally reached it, and I thought, "Lord," another time I said, "if you ever get me out of this, I'll never go fishing with Bill Holloway, and Jimmy D will get as long as I live." And I never did, because they scare you with the things they do.
So you're like the boat fish ornament, kind of the...
I'm the
ornament?
Yeah, whatever. I was doing that. Didn't I have one more fishing one that...
How'd they get it out of his arm?
The doctor cut it off.
So you made it back to get to the doctor?
Well, I was out one day, we were fishing, and the boat kind of tilted to the side, and I was up on the front end of it, and I started falling, and my glasses fell off the water. Oh. Ray-Ban glasses that a friend of mine had brought out there. And I went right in after those Ray-Ban glasses right in the middle of that lake. The funny part was I had a good fresh stogie in my mouth and went right in with that cigar as I hit the water and got down, found my glasses, got back up, got out, and I was just a winner because I had my good, the cigar wasn't any good anymore. I guess that was God's punishment. I don't know.